Prophet Aries says Lucas, Hamill, Ford, Williams, McGinnis, McGregor. Even as a Slavic American myself, we must recognize that Star Wars is fundamentally an Anglo-Irish creation. Only their zany imaginations could conjure such a pie-in-the-sky universe. Thanks for Kino, bruvs. You know what? Credit where credit is due. You're right. You know, that's actually true. Because Anglos are like that. Anglos are wacky. You know, they are very silly. And they come up with weird stuff like that. You know, like Star Wars and Doctor Who. It's true. It is uniquely Anglo. You know, like my parents were never into Star Wars. Because my parents were ethnics. I guess my dad was half Irish, but, you know, my dad liked, like, real movies. Like The Godfather, you know, like serious movies. He didn't like silly, cartoony stuff. Anglos do. Anglos love that shit. They eat it up. I never thought of it that way, but that's so true. You know, think about all the great Italian directors, Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola. They, you know, they weren't making funny movies. They weren't making sci-fi movies. They were making serious stuff. True. Very true. You know, I never thought of it that way, but credit where credit's due. Thanks, bruv, for Star Wars. Hey, we appreciate it. Civic Groiper says, whatever happened to that guy Yusuf? He's just living his life. What do you want to hear? He's a student. What do you want? Whatever happened? I get this question probably once every other week. Whatever happened to that Yusuf guy? He's on Mars. He's on Mars. He's a Martian now. Oh, you didn't hear? He's the president of Libya. Yeah, he just took over the country. He's a student. I think he's still going to school. I haven't talked to him since we did the show, so I don't know. Krokos says SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is releasing tomorrow. Really hyped. I know you're a fan of the game, and I saw you stream the original. Which area of the game is your favorite? Yeah, I'm definitely going to stream it once it comes out, for sure. And, yeah, it's coming out tomorrow. I probably like the, what's my favorite? I really like Jellyfish Fields, you know, where it all begins. I like Downtown Bikini Bottom a lot. I like, what else? Rock Bottom always used to scare me, but I guess I liked it because it was thrilling, you know. I didn't like being scared by those, what were they called, Sleepy Time robots or whatever. They used to scare the shit out of me, but I did like that level. What else? What else did you even have? The Flying Dutchman's Graveyard, Kelp Forest. I like the Krusty Krab. I like Sandy's Tree Dome. I like the level at the end when you beat the game and you just get to roll around that arena and it plays the music. That was really, like, meta. Very esoteric. Question for Nix is, do you think you could beat your dad in a fight? Probably not. I'm not there yet. He's not old enough yet, and I'm not strong enough yet. I gotta hit the America First gym, and he's gotta get a little bit older. And that's just because he's a good fighter. I mean, he's a good fighter. He's a tough cookie, my father. You know, he grew up in the neighborhood in Chicago. He grew up on the streets, you know. And I think that's why, in a lot of ways, I have a bit of a different disposition than a lot of people that are in politics. I'm not saying that I'm like a hard ass because my father was, you know, like a tough guy back in the day. But I think you do get a different, I think it's a different upbringing than somebody who gets raised by a lawyer or a college graduate or, you know, a professional or something like that. And it's just maybe you're more scrappy, more of a fighter, maybe more of like an old school sort of, I don't know, upbringing. So yeah, no, it's going to be a little while, I think. Honestly, though, I think what I have going for me is my dad is very overconfident. Like all fathers, you know, he's getting up there. I mean, I don't want to dox his age, but, you know, he's in his 50s. And, you know, he thinks that he's still, like, you know, he's still got it, like, back in the day. And in a lot of ways, he still does. I mean, he's still a pretty tough guy. You know, he still does box occasionally, actually, you know. And he used to box back in the day. And he's still a tough guy, but I don't think he realizes that it doesn't matter how good of a fighter you are. Once you get up there, I mean, certain things start to go. So, you know, I don't want to, you know, dox the weak points, but I mean, I've known my dad long enough to know the weak points, to know what to go after. It's just a question of, like, would I last long enough, you know? Because he's He's got a good punch. He's just got that old man strength. So it's a question of, would I be able to quickly enough target and neutralize the weak points before I got, destroyed. So that's a tough one. I'd have to see. But probably going to have to wait for him to get a little bit older before I stand a chance. But he's a tough cookie. What can I say, I come from a long line of fighters. So once I get in the gym, it's honestly over for everybody. I've been giving everybody a head start. When everybody's in the gym and they're posting physique and everything, I'm giving them a head start. I come from a long line of, thugs and fighters and people on the streets on all sides, Irish, Italian, Mexican. And those are some pretty pugnacious demographics, I will add. So that's an interesting question. That's the question, right?